Hello and welcome to this week's live stream from Future Auto Solutions. And Gordy wanted to kick us off with a little trumpet. I don't know if there's something
Yeah, I
triumphant to say there or whether you want to make a big introduction, but there we go. Uh, so before we do our introductions and say hello formally, if this is your first time coming across the channel, please do subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you're alerted to each video we do publish. Future Auto Solutions, we're here to elevate the experience for both customer and car dealerships. So what we want to talk about today, Gordy, is increasing auto sales using Facebook with Future Auto Solutions.
yeah,
We leverage Facebook. We know the upside, we know the potentials, and we're going to review 7 ways in which auto dealerships can work with Future Auto Solutions to do that. And before we do that, I think it's probably appropriate. We just moved in the month of June. Give an update on where you are in a sense of in the UK with car dealerships. Are they open? Are they not open? How are sales going? I think it's good to get that weekly update.
yeah.
And
Well,
first, hello as well, by the way.
oh, yes. Hello, Steve. Nice. How's it going? No, dealerships are open, but working with a skeleton staff. So really, just trying to deal with service departments are open, sales department dealing with skeleton staff, just dealing with inquiries and stuff. But from tomorrow, I think everything is back, full teams back, and operating as normal. Well, to
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
the new conditions I see on most websites and on their Facebook pages and stuff like that. They're putting up their protocol and obviously the process and how they're going to handle inquiries and stuff like that. So, yeah, hopefully from tomorrow things are returning to a wee bit of normality.
yeah.
But as I say, business has been good. May was steady for myself on Facebook and traffic and everything else, and we had a steady enough start to June. So we'll see how it goes from here on.
Yeah, and it segues nicely into what we're going to talk about because as dealerships open up, right? Yes, you talked about the process and the protocols that they have to put in place to allow people to come into the
Absolutely.
store. So, I mean, it's hard enough to get people into a car dealership, but then you're putting these protocols and policies in place, which you have to, but actually it could be another barrier or another, I don't want to say
A
incentive,
reason.
but a reason
A
not
reason.
to go in.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's really important that we're discussing today the 7 ways in which Future Auto Solutions can help car dealerships, whether you're getting new cars, whether you're used cars, whether you're large or small. We want to talk about what they are. So the first one I want to talk to, Gordy, is number one, a new audience. So how can Future Auto Solutions open up a new audience to a dealership?
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I said that across the new audience was from our sort of our investigation work we did and obviously mystery shops and stuff, looking into dealerships Facebook and their current trend and how they market and use Facebook. I mean, they're not using it as a selling tool. So as soon as you start to change that and flip that approach, in which that's what we're going to work alongside hopefully with dealerships, is that you're getting a new audience who's following your page and who's actually engaged in your page, whereas before people are not engaged and they don't have the community and the people following your page. So what you're doing is you're opening it wide open to new people to come in your, and it's your shop front because it's online. It's your shop front you can put your cars on, and it's opening up a new audience. And then obviously as we go down through, it's about retaining them people and obviously converting them into appointments.
Yep, no, no, great point, great point. And obviously, we'll see the 7 how they all fold and how they're interconnected.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so number two is a more identifiable way to communicate. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so whenever the modern day and the modern technology and how communications is being carried out by everybody, by friends, family, by businesses, by absolutely everybody, is through the media of social media, and the interaction of social media, the being the freedom to comment and the share and the. So what you're doing is you're actually coming down to meet with your future customers and your future people, just on a level where they're used to, where it's every day, on your phone and on your iPad, or on your commute or wherever you're going to work. Everybody is on social media, and if you're able then to take full advantage of that platform, is you're going to reach a whole new people that already are not actually, interacting with your dealership, and again, it's they're having a cup of coffee or they're having their breakfast, and you're right there in front of them. So it's a completely different way um, of communicating, and
Yeah.
it makes you more sort of identifiable, and it breaks down barriers, I find.
Yeah, and I think if if you want to dive deeper into this, we discussed this a lot last week, Gordy. We put up examples of how we
Yeah,
interact and communicate with clients, and also the feedback we get, and also how clients, whenever that communication platform, they then go on and become sellers
yeah,
of our business model. So that's really good.
absolutely. Yeah,
So number three was a new platform to display your stock. What do you mean by
yeah.
that?
Well, I mean, the normal everyday in which I grew up with in my motor trade time and dealerships is, you've your auto trader, we have used cars NI over here, or the standard. You have a list and you're in the middle of everything with every other dealership around you, or you have your dealer website. I think the beauty of Facebook is that you can actually put the message out there on its own, and it's a car that you can photograph and control the environment in which it's being displayed, and then you're getting action actually on that car, and it's a completely new way of looking at your dealership and your stock, and you can actually target, and you can schedule for the week. Okay, this is our cars of the week, this is what we're going to, I mean, it's a whole new
Hmm.
approach,
Hmm.
whereas the standard everyday auto trader just doesn't allow you to do that. You actually have to have the customer going looking for that particular model, that particular car, and really the message you're giving them is the same as everybody else. Whereas Facebook and social media, it actually allows you then to tailor each deal, each car, look at it, review it, say why is this not working for me, and really have a conversation about that car. And obviously I've mentioned in the list coming below how that really helps and affects, going forward in a dealership.
Yeah, and sort of, again, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago we went through about all that, how to take photos, how to take video,
Yeah,
and which works
absolutely.
better, and how to do it and put it in. And I think, and then also last week you mentioned actually one of the great advantages with Facebook was actually when you put a post, you can leave it there. So customers can come and it's actually a continuous thing where they can
Uh,
see what you do, what cars you deliver, and there's just complete history there. And
yeah,
also the communication, the thumbs up, the likes, the sharing, everyone can see the activity, and that's another great thing by having
yeah,
it on there.
exactly,
Right.
exactly.
So, number four is qualified leads, but then you put quality in brackets, parentheses
Yeah,
after that. So why did
yeah.
you put the quality as well as the leads?
Well, I mean, I'm speaking from a sales managers and sales dealership point of view. These companies, third party companies, come in and they promise the sun, moon, and stars. So they're going to get you quality leads sent over, and they're going to get you, people appointments and make these things, and touching from an open mind, and not from a negative side, but I've been a salesperson and I've been a sales manager receiving these leads. They're not quality. They're not people who are ready on the market, who know what they want. They're not that. All it is them ticking a box and saying, I sent you X amount of leads. So
Mm-hmm.
what I'm finding on Facebook is when people communicate with me, they're coming to me. It's not me going to them. I'm just putting it there for them to see, but they're actually going out of their way to send me a message and say, look, listen, tell me more about this car. Or so what it's doing then is it's automatically giving me an in to talk about the car, to talk about the finance deal that I put on, and then what it's doing is then it's driving an appointment that is a quality appointment, because that customer knows what they're looking for, knows the car, knows the deal, and all it is when they come, making sure all the boxes are ticked, and it's a real hot lead rather than all these outside companies promising saying I'm going to send you 5 new leads every day, five this, five that, and it's just it's not the qualification and the effort that's went in to get that appointment. That's what
Yeah.
I mean by the quality
Yeah,
side.
yeah, no, no, and it's. I'm glad you explained. In past videos, we also noted actually the speed to which, whenever you do publish a car to actually closing it, it's usually about 10 days on average, right? Is
Yeah,
where you sort of put it at, and the other side of it is, the other thing when people see the cars, then they actually reach out to you with actually, can you get me, right? And then
yeah,
that's where it is, you become a problem solver rather than trying to just generate an email so the same people can
exactly,
follow up to actually drag people into a car
exactly.
dealership. And then number five, you note protected margin. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's what I'm finding over time and time again when I put a car on and I structure it, and again, going back to the video that we had of how we run our ads and how we present the car. I'm presenting a deal where it's a monthly price, and it's a, and what you're doing when you give someone the monthly price and the deal. Now, you're not hiding anything, so just make sure we're
Mm-hmm.
not crossing
Mm-hmm.
any lines there. But what you're doing is, you're actually making the 6,990, the 10,990, the price of the car more actually achievable for the customer, where it's a monthly payment, and the actual the whole stumbling block of the price of the car actually disappears.
Mm-hmm.
It's strange how that works, and it's just the mindset of how people work nowadays. Is okay. My budget for a car is 250 a month, or it's 100 a month, or it's and the price of the car actually goes out the window. It's actually the monthly payment, and what it's done in turn is it's actually letting me hold on to 100% of the margin, on the car. You're not going in and then you're trying to bat it down, and people are back and forward and go speak to your manager, come back, go. You're protecting actually the margin on the car, and it's and the customer is no less, doesn't feel they've got less of a deal because
Mm-hmm.
they've actually come to you about the price because you've told them the price. You've told them it's £150 a month, and they've come to you and said that's affordable for me.
Right.
Can I come and see it? Do you know what I
Right.
mean? It's a
Yeah.
completely different conversation.
Right. And I guess it sort of connects the previous one we mentioned about the quality leads and then also the protected
Exactly.
margin, right?
Exactly.
So actually the customer from the comfort of their own home is deciding, can I afford to pay X amount per month? And if I can, then I'm reaching out. So it's a quality lead who's reaching out. And I have to imagine the sort of the emotional communication is very, very different to somebody walking into a car salesman
Yeah.
and actually sitting
Absolutely.
down to have that conversation, right? And then to
It's
your
an
point, right?
it's an
Sorry.
excited conversation because
Yeah.
it's like, this car looks great and I can afford it. How do I see it? Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's a completely new. Whereas someone walking on the site, protecting their money and saying, well, and walking around the site and not understanding what each car actually means in price of their monthly figure, and then they're guessing almost, and they're doing that. Some people can be a wee bit more brash and just go, how much is that a month? But a lot of people in their own mind is, I don't want to hear I can't afford it. Do you understand? They don't want
Yeah.
people to tell
Yeah.
them I can't afford that car. So it's I think it's a great way to reach out, and as you say, it creates a real quality lead and also protects the margin for the dealership.
Do you find this causes less head turns? You walk into a dealership, you have in your mind what sort of car you want, but then you're kind of overwhelmed by the amount of cars there, all the various options that are available, what are the different price points. Does this eliminate some of that?
Well, I mean, obviously, my business model is slightly different to that. Whereas, I have limited stock. But yes, I mean, absolutely, people are more focused. And actually, I'm finding people have got their insurance quote. They've got, their total running costs. They've got the spec already in their heads. They know the car, the color, because there's nothing. That's the car they've picked on. So
Yeah.
they're coming to you already knowing the price of insurance. I've already told them the service history, and it's been serviced and it's got a warranty, and I've also told them the monthly payment. So their window is getting smaller and smaller. And I mean, obviously, in any sales process, it's objection handling, and if you can take away all the objections,
Right.
and you can take all that away, it leaves a negotiation very simple, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And another good point you made there is, buyers are educated these days, right? They've done their homework.
Absolutely.
They know exactly
Yeah.
what it is they want. And then to your point, right, they've narrowed down the type of car they want, maybe even the color and sort of the features that they'll accept or won't accept,
Yeah.
and then they'll move forward from there. So that's really good.
Yeah.
So the sixth thing you mentioned is turn stock faster. We touched on this a little bit, and sort
Yeah.
of the speed at which we sell, but maybe you can explain that a little bit further.
Yeah. I mean, speaking from any dealership, stock turn is the biggest, means your cash flow. It's it is the biggest crippler of a used car side, or it's the biggest sort of success of a used car dealership. The faster you can get a car in, get it turned, get it prepped, get it ready, and get it back out on the road again and get that money turned. That it's absolute. It's the absolute key to
Hmm.
successful used
Hmm.
car site or business. And I think, I mean, whenever and I've worked with dealerships around me as a network, as you know, obviously on a one-to-one basis. And I went in and I've took their old cars, their old stock that's been sitting, used our process, and had great success with it. Because what you're doing is, and that's what I've mentioned to you, is you're putting that car in people's face. Where in a used car, NI, your website, dealer website, or Auto Trader, it's not putting it in people's face. They have to go looking for that car. So whenever you pick it out, and that's why I was mentioning earlier about having a sales meeting and a structure of what you're going to have a deal of the week. You know, you're addressing the car, you're walking around the car, you're saying to yourself, well, why is this not selling? And you're looking at it with a different eye. Then you're photographing it right, and then you're presenting it in a different manner. It turns stock faster. It works 100%. I know it, and I do it day and daily. As you said before, my cars come in 10 days, the car's gone again. Nothing sits, and that's because, well, one, because I'm buying what I know works, but also two, it's being presented differently, and my customers and my following on Facebook are expecting and waiting for new cars, and expecting and waiting for certain cars to come through. So that's why I put that down. Turnover stock, and especially now, this is critical because we're going to go back. The doors are going to open, and the cars are ready. 9 weeks old compared to, and that's only the ones that just came in. The ones that have been sitting for any longer, they're already going to be a problem. They've dropped in the book many times. The cap's changed. So, I mean, it's, turning stock and getting things moving fast. It's going to be critical right now. So,
yeah, and I have to imagine that the customer is going to come in expecting a deal because they know everyone's sitting, they've seen images on the TV of just shipyards full of cars. Ready to go, and everyone's going to be expecting a real deal where, you go back to some of the points you made before, you eliminate actually the price point, you lock in what you can sell it for, and then you come to the agreement and you put the deal in front of everybody.
Yeah. But even at that, on that note, yes, people are expecting great deals and going to be coming on, but manufacturers are going to put a great deal on. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, what way to put it out? To hit the ground running, put it out. This is what we're doing. Here we are, and this is why new cars might really work at the minute. The manufacturer's going to come. And over in the UK, I've heard whispers and talk and seen sort of ideas on what they're going to be, and it's going to be really strong retail deals. So, if people are able to get on this and get on Facebook and put the message out about new car deals and used car deals, you could really win in this. I really do think you can win in this.
We'll go back and obviously explain what we can offer as we go through this last one. So number 7 is build a lasting audience and customer base.
Yeah, I think this is the best part. Genuinely, I do. I mean, I am a single person working by myself as a sole trader. And I've built in just 3 years, over 3,000 followers on my page myself. And it's grown organically and being drip fed in on a margin, not spending thousands of pounds and boosting and everything else. But them customers are mine until I do something wrong. Do you know what I mean? They're going to stay with me. They're following pages. They're liking my page. And I'm building that every day. You spend all this money on your dealer website, on Auto Trader and all of these things. And then customers are one stop. They might stumble into your stock, they might not. Where Facebook, if you can get them to like someone else in their family to like, that's them. They're stuck. They have to make a conscious decision to go back in, find you, like you and take you off. And it's an awful lot of effort that not many people are gonna do, unless you do something wrong. What I'm saying is, if you really work at it and keep growing it, them customers are going to be with you for the next sort of future of whatever you're building. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned an important point there, though, that we should acknowledge, right? Car dealerships are going to do what they've always known. They're going to ramp up. They're going to spend a whole lot more in marketing right now as they open up, right?
Absolutely.
So this is a huge, for somebody to trust this process that we're offering is emotionally, that's a hard thing to do. This is my tried and trusted way. I've had success this way. To do it this way, well, that may be, I don't know if that's going to work. And right now, I need something that works. So, I mean, how do you reconcile that?
Well, in my mind, and that's a question I always pose to my dealer principals and my directors, how do they know what they're doing is working? Mm-hmm. Because it's unquantifiable. I mean, the salesmen don't ask where the leads come from. The telephone receptionists don't ask where the leads have come from. Facebook gives you everything. They're so good at it. They want to tell you this is working. You know what I mean? They want to give you all the analytics, but you can go on and say, this is many people follow my page. This is many people went through my site. This many people went from my page to my website. You know, it tells you all this information, and you're able then to say, okay, well, if I spend money on it, this is what I'm getting. Do you know what I mean? And also, I mean, every time you get a lead and you make an appointment from Facebook, again, the customer's added to your database automatically.
Yeah.
You're not having to get that and put into a CRM system and
Yeah.
the hope that that's done correctly by a salesman. You know, it's done automatically without you actually doing anything. And again, Steve, it's complete. If they're not doing it, it's brand new. Do you know what I mean? It's a new, it's a new message. People get excited about it. You know, and I mean, a salesman see how fast it works and how quickly, you know, I've got an appointment on that. And they're coming to see it. Get that car out, get it ready. You know, they know the price of it. Yeah, right? Absolutely. And you know, and it just creates that. And I mean, and I say to you, if they're able to do it for 1 month and commit to it, and they'll be able to take the analytics from it and then from they'll see the value in it, you know.
Yeah, and that's an important point to make, right? So as people do go through this right now, we're offering a 15-minute consult where we'll go through and we'll give you details. We'll show you our page, our Facebook page, where you can then go through and see the transactions, see the communication and the sort of interaction between customer and yourself, Gordy, and then we'll then also so okay, this is your Facebook page, this is where you're going wrong, and this is how we can work together. And I think right now, you know, you can try both strategies. The strategy that you think works for your business that it currently is existing, you then can also go through with this approach that we're advocating and we've found success with, and then you can make a decision what's going to work better. And to your point, right, Absolutely. One is measurable, one isn't measurable.
Yeah.
Dealerships spend thousands and will spend thousands of dollars in June, July, August, September to really amp up sales. And by directing some of your marketing dollars into Future Auto Solutions, we believe you're going to get a better return. You're going to get to know your audience better. You're going to get to know how to price cars better. You're going to see how they interact, and you're going to build that engagement model that actually will allow you to generate future sales. And as I said, a little bit of both, and then you can make the decision what works best. So do reach out to us. The email is on the screen, obviously. So reach out, just send an email. Tell us what you want, 15 minutes, and we'll set that time up with you and run through the business model with you. Any final thoughts, Gordy?
No, I'm pretty good. Just I think
pretty good.
Talked a lot there. So,
no, it's really helpful. It's really helpful.
Yeah. I think it's an absolute perfect opportunity. You know, everything's open and really sort of, as you say, people are going to commit an awful lot of money to marketing.
Yeah.
So, you know, why not even take a small slice of it?
Right.
And try it and see.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Because they probably will spend money on Facebook. They probably will. You know, they probably got that already set aside, but it's just about how they use it.
How they use it
is really key. Yeah.
And we did a video of how to use it and how to communicate on Facebook.
Absolutely.
So there's key things that we've noted just on. It's not just a case of pushing, you know, an advertisement in a certain way. There is communication. There is a methodology to everything, and you know, we'll be covering, and we can obviously run through that with everybody on that 15-minute consult. So for now, Gordy, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Be well.
No problem. Thank you.
Chat to you next week.
Perfect.